I felt awkward because I thought we were going to help and they were already done with everything, you know, so we just sat down.
I know, right?
Now I would take an eggplant.
That would be great.
Yes. Okay.
Do I need to turn anything on in this?
I got it.
Yes. You want to start over, please?
To be humble, to be kind. It is a giving of the peace in your mind. To a stranger, to a friend. To give in such a way that has no end. We are love, we are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. To be bold, to be brave. It is the thinking that the heart can still be saved, and the darkness can come quick. The dangers and the anger and the hanging on to it. We are love, we are one. We are how we treat each other when the day is done. We are peace, we are war. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. And tell me what it is that you see. A world that's full of endless possibilities. And the heroes don't look like they used to. They look like you do. We are love, we are day is done. We are peace. We are war. We are how we treat each other and nothing more. You guys did pretty good for that with that for only having just heard it last week. So that was pretty great. And welcome. My name is Teresa, or Pastor T. My pronouns are she, her, and I am so very glad that all of you are here. Todos son bienvenidos aquí. Whoever you are, wherever you're from, however you identify, and whatever your story, you are not just welcome. You are celebrated here. We honor all bodies, all neurotypes, all races, and cultures, immigrants with or without documentation, citizens, seekers, skeptics, scholars, students, and survivors. There is space for you here. If you are Black, brown, indigenous, white, mixed, of the global majority or minority, if you are deaf, hard of hearing, hearing, or selectively hearing, if you are disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent, or have made it this far in life as a specimen of perfect health. If you are lesbian, gay, bi, pan, ace, aro, trans, non-binary, intersex, two-spirit, gender expansive, exploring your identity, or exploring what any of these words mean or mean to you, your whole self is sacred here, and you exist here, and you are safe here. If you follow Jesus, the Buddha, the goddess, the earth, your ancestors, or nature, if you're still finding your way, or if you're not sure there's a way at all, your faith journey is wholly here. Bring with you your doubts, your rituals, your joy, your grief, your questions, and your curiosity. In our services, we encourage you to use whatever name for the divine feels right to you. I just learned a new name for the divine. It's Gus, which is what?
Great universal spirit.
Great universal spirit, Gus. Yes.
I like that.
We love that, and if something doesn't fit, substitute the word that speaks to your spirit. We celebrate the many paths to the sacred, the divine, the holy, or God. We acknowledge that we gather on the unceded land of the Chichansi people. We honor their story, their sovereignty, and their enduring presence. If you're joining us online today, we ask that you drop a comment or an emoji so we feel your presence across the miles. If you see me out in the world, just know I'm sometimes wearing a hat and not a tie, but it's still me. And if you hear my voice and think I'm your pastor, please let me know. It's always nice to hear. For those here in person, the cameras are right down the center, and the microphones are right up here, which I knock off the binder. So unless you're looking to create a shadow puppet show, I would steer clear of there, especially if you're in disguise. Today, as we gather among the colors of Dia de los Muertos, we honor not only one another, but the ancestors whose love still lights our way. We remember that the veil between worlds is thin and that love never leaves. It simply changes form. So as we begin today, I invite you to take as deep a breath as you're comfortable taking. And let love, acceptance, welcome, and blessing meet you exactly as you are. As we begin our time of worship this morning, you may notice a few things look different. And we will be having a guest speaker today, but I assure you it's the same church you walk into every Sunday, or the same church we hope you'll walk into again. And now we will begin with our opening song, We Give Thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and this far this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. One more time. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here and those far away, for this time we share with love and care. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. If you were with us for any or all of the activities this weekend, you know why Judy and I are extra rusty this morning. Because we have been busy with food pantry stuff and rally stuff and trick-or-treat stuff, all of which was a huge success, and thank you to everybody who helped make it happen. Our next song is When Our Heart Is in a Holy Place. We sang this one last week. It should be familiar. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place.
Good morning. My name is Chris, and my pronouns are she and her. Good morning. We light this flame to honor the circle that connects the living and the dead. As our ancestors once gathered around their fires, so we gather now to remember, to give thanks, and to kindle the warmth of belonging across time. And now we have our special guest speaker, which I'll let Teresa introduce. And then do you want to click yourself, or do you want to just tell us when to advance the slides? Okay, all right. You got it, Lydia?
All right. So, So today, during the time that Chris would usually tell you something about a special project or something about the history of Unitarian Universalists, I've asked my good friends Brooke and Elba to come speak. And they can tell you far more about themselves than I can, but I met these lovely ladies about a year ago up here, and we've just become chosen family.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Pastor. Y'all, this is the first time I've been in church except for a funeral or a wedding in 40 years.
She told me yesterday I'm a miracle worker.
Yeah, a miracle worker. A miracle worker. So today is November 2nd. We celebrate Dia de los Muertos throughout Mesoamerica. On November 2nd, no matter what day of the week it comes. You want to flip to the next slide? Dia de los Muertos is where we honor and we connect with our ancestors in a joyous way. In sort of white American society, we have a tendency with death to put our people somewhere and never go visit, never connect. It's a very death-denying culture for the most part. In Latino culture, it is a belief that our ancestors are never far away. Clearly, I'm not Latina, but I got invited. My wife, Elba, has adopted me, and I grew up in the borderlands of Tucson, Arizona, so the traditions of Dia de los Muertos have been part of my life for a long time. So what I want you to do, part of the ceremony today, is to connect with your ancestors, the people that come before you. What we've done here, and I want you to hold the little items from Mexico that we gave you. Hold them in your hand, keep them warm, and as you're holding those through this ceremony, please just put your intentions for your life, your intentions for your death, your intentions for connecting with people, pets that you've lost. And as we're doing this, embody all of those intentions in these little pieces.
Did anybody miss getting pieces? I can bring them to you.
I think we got everybody. And just keep them warm in your hand, and you'll take these home and maybe put them on your own altar that you make at home. An altar is something that makes you honor. It's what's above or within us. Saints, ancestors, dreams, sacred memories, right? And this tradition sort of opens that. Did anybody see that movie Coco? Yes. All right. Well, so you got an idea. They did a pretty good job, actually. Two of our friends were cultural advisors on that movie. Yeah. So and the pictures that you're going to see in this are all photos that I've taken at Dia de los Muertos celebrations in San Francisco. So do you want to take a little? Oh, that's better. You want to take a
cemetery, and at that time we kind of refurbished the plots, the burial sites, whatever you have for them, and whatever you usually have a little place for your bodies, and there's land around it. And what you do is you go over there and you clean it, repaint it, you do the names, and you spend the whole day actually remembering them and thinking about them and just being around family, which brings the whole family together and brings them together to be with us at the same time. And so this is why countless little towns in all of Latin America do this on the Day of the Dead. And it's called the Day of the Dead because we're remember them. And it's a wonderful thing because you get to be a kid and run around all the cemetery places. You don't even know what's going on. As a kid, I used to do that, and I got lost one day. And I had to find my way home. It was scary.
But the whole community is there.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of times people are not in the same place as their dearly departed, right? They're immigrants, or we've moved across the country, or whatever. So we make altars to honor them. So next slide. So in San Francisco and many places, there's celebrations in parks. Like this square altar is honoring the West. And then that altar over there with the spiral is honoring the East. And in the center, we have the components of an altar that you see here. We call them, in Spanish, calaveras, not skulls, calaveras. And there's sugar skulls and talavera skulls. There's fire. There's a feast for the ancestors. It's a little bit like our tradition of leaving cookies for Santa Claus, right? So, it's funny how these things apply kind of cross-culturally, right? So we have little lotus seeds that are popped. We usually would have tequila, but I didn't think we should bring it.
We're not that kind of church. It would have been fine.
Okay.
Next year.
Sorry.
I'll be here.
So, right, and then people put photographs, and many of you have done that, and you're here. Now you're thinking about your ancestors who are here or who are just in your mind. We brought a little baby deer horn. Our place in North Fork was in the middle of the creek fire, so we brought that to honor all the little critters that lost their homes. Here, a patch in honor of Sonny Wolf, who was the founder of Dykes on Bikes, who lead the pride parades all over the world now. I'm their lawyer. And Elva, do you want to ask people about calling out their ancestors?
At this time, we would like you to sit or stand up or sit to yourself and remember the people who have passed before you. If you would like to call their names at this time, it would be nice to hear that they can come and be with us.
And call them into the room with us. You don't have to say it out loud, but you can. I guess I'm gonna call our dog that just died this year, Hunter.
My mama, Joanne Lang. My grandma Jo, Viv, Grandma Jackie, and Grandpa Tom. Her dad.
Whoops. Go ahead.
My dad did, and my grandma and grandpa killed. And my aunt.
Yeah.
My sister Michelle. Our daughter Heather.
My son Tim and my brother
My
George.
son, I came to be here. Yeah, he hasn't passed, but very jolly soul.
And Neil's pretty touch and go.
Yeah.
I've lost my mother and father and one brother out of 6 of us. So,
My brother James and my brother Robert. I'll say my mom, my dad, my brother, my beloved cat, and so many friends.
So many friends. All right, well, now we've called all of these beloved people into what's now a sacred space, which started as a sacred space with Pastor Teresa.
That's okay.
Teresa. And we have this sacred space, and the ancestors are here with us. Thank you very much for participating in that. Next slide. So altars are non-denominational. People are invited to bring anything they'd like to add, a prayer, a flower, persimmons. You know, I mean, you guys have really, you've already made these altars your own, which is beautiful. And, you know, you can sit and relax with these, with the strength and the power of all of these beloveds who we brought into the room with us. And contemplate and hug and walk in a procession. Many towns and cities, there's places, if you really want to get into the Dia de los Muertos tradition, there are cities where you can go that are really incredible. San Francisco has an amazing Dia de los Muertos celebration, in Oaxaca and Mexico. There are other places that you could go to really experience the whole thing. People, you know, some people, like that woman right there,
That's our friendly woodpecker that comes around this time every Sunday.
He's feeling it.
Yes.
He's feeling it. That was like, the spirits are
Yes.
knocking, man. I'm like,
Yep.
what? So this woman, and especially at this moment when I'm talking about this woman who's honoring all the people that passed in Palestine and Israel, she was honoring Palestine. You can make an altar out of natural things. You know, I mean, many of us have just a small altar in our home all the time, and we add to it and change and that kind of thing. So you can make an altar with anything that's meaningful to you. Next slide. Elba, you want to take this one?
These are just people who have, I mean, you see the faces colored white and stuff. They represent a ghost of a person in your life or someone that you want to bring with you on your walks, on your celebrations. And they do this every year. They paint their faces white with lipsticks and white paint and then black paint because they want to look like a skull or something. And it's kind of interesting because everybody has a different way of dressing. Like you see a person with a full dress and a hat, and you see just different styles that you might want to even create your own self and for that day. And it's kind of fun because you're out there in the procession, and sometimes you can be everywhere with everybody, and you'll be walking with them, and you walk miles and stuff. And it's kind of interesting because right now they're putting it on a street that is very busy all the time. It's called Mission Street in San Francisco, and there's a lot of people there because the parade from Castro Street has joined the parade on Mission Street, and so there's just a big old horrendous party for our people who have passed by creating a celebration that is just joyful for everybody.
Now, did any of you notice anything particular about this crew right here? These are drag queens, baby.
I was wondering. I was like,
These are drag queens.
Yeah, right.
So we only have 5 minutes. We could go on, but we won't. Google Dia de los Muertos processions, and you will. Oh no, turn off the light again, por favor. And you'll be able to see some amazing costumes and people. But it's all with this Mesoamerican style and honoring, bringing the balance of the earth, which we want to bring in now too. The directions. I'm a little turned around here. Somebody's going to have to help me with north, south, east, and west. What's north?
anyone know where north is?
So this is
I have a compass on my
need.
phone, but my phone's over there. Oh,
Okay.
gotta say it that way.
All right. Everybody turn to the north and say Ashe.
Ashe.
Everybody turn to the south. Ashe.
Ashe.
Turn to the east. Ashe.
Ashe.
And turn to the west. Ashe. And to the sky, Ashe. And to the earth, Ashe. Next slide. You can have a little altar at home. This is one that we made one year. I hope you make one in your house. Next slide. Big hugs and thanks for listening. This is us with a calavera. I want to acknowledge Concepcion Concha Sacedo Martinez, who a lot of the things in here were quotes from her in an article in El Tecolote, October 20th. And I also want to thank the Marigold Project, which does the Festival of Altars in San Francisco, and is a client. So actually both of those are clients of mine. Now, hold your little things. All right. Close the circle. Allow your ancestors to leave and go back to their rest. Maybe a little. A deep breath if you feel like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Your coach is right there. Brooke, your phone.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Maybe next year we can get them to come back and actually take over the sermon slot. Elba is an amazing artist. We've seen some of her work in the Mission District, and Brooke is an art attorney. And they could have gone on and on for hours. I know.
I think we did more than 5 minutes.
That's okay. That is okay. I wanted you to. So thank you so much for sharing your culture with us. Oh, and I think now we have, okay, there one song. Yep, okay. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
I invite you now to take a breath in and let it go. Allow your shoulders to soften, your hands to rest, and your breathing to find its rhythm. If you wish, close your eyes. Imagine roots reaching gently from your feet into the earth, connecting you to the ground beneath this room, to the soil that has held countless generations before you. Feel the steady presence of those who came before, not as distant ghosts, but as quiet companions. They lived, learned, and loved. They made mistakes and found courage again. Their wisdom is part of the air you breathe. As you rest in that connection, perhaps one voice, one face, or one teaching comes to mind. It might be an ancestor of your family, or an ancestor of your spirit, someone whose life shaped the path you walk. Let their lessons come not as words, but as a feeling of patience or strength or compassion. Allow that wisdom to move through you like sunlight through leaves. And when you're ready, take another slow breath in, and as you exhale, open your eyes. Carry that light of remembrance and wisdom with you into this hour and into the work that waits beyond it. And now we're going to share our joys and concerns. We had forms over here. Did anyone fill out a form? I don't think we got any today, but I know that Donna has a Neil update.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and light the candle.
I've got the Neil update. So Neil is watching today. So everybody say hi, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
He goes in for surgery again on Wednesday to get a drain put in. And hopefully this will be the last thing before we get him home. Hopefully. So let's send lots of love and light and energy and happy thoughts and prayers Neil's way, and Donna's way. It's been a rough, long time. If you've lost track, we last saw Neil here with us on Easter. He has been in the hospital of one sort or another ever since. So it's a long road. Yes.
I didn't write one because I didn't think of it, but can we have my aunt in our thoughts?
Yes.
She is coming to the end of her battle with lung cancer. It's just a matter of weeks now.
Yes. And also Lisa and her dad. And then also she asked for prayers for her daughter, who is hopefully moving to a new group home today. So if you know the situation with that, you know that's a very good thing. Let's take a moment of time in prayer and reflection. Holy One, God of many names, we thank you so much for friends and family and chosen family here with us today, both the living and those who have gone past, who have blessed us with their presence today. We thank you for the joys that I know are out there but have not been spoken, because many of us experiencing great joy are also experiencing great exhaustion from the wonderful things that you've brought to fruition this weekend. And we ask that you be with those who are suffering, who are ill, and who are missing those who are not home, either because they've passed into the great beyond or because they're fighting to stay here on earth. We ask this in your many holy names. Amen. And I think Chris has a kid's story.
I sure do. I do. It's called the Festival of Bones, and it's very, very small. So if you want to look at the pictures, I'll have it sitting up here later. It's lots of great detail. It also has the words in Spanish, and if we had more time, I'd pull one of our Spanish speakers up here or put Teresa on the spot. But I won't, because we're running short on time. The skeletons are going along the road to the graveyard. They are coming and they are going. As you see them passing by, they are walking over here, they are walking over there. These are the dead. How happy they are. He looks like he's having a lot of fun on his bike. Hey, I'm flying. Hey, I'm flying. The festival is so far away. The Day of the Dead is today. They're coming and they're going, and you see them passing by. They're dancing over here. They're chatting over there. It's their day, and they're going to have a good time. Pascal's skeleton sings a song without any pain or dread. Though half a leg is really gone, still a flower sits upon his head. He just doesn't even mind. And then this is a great page of lots of dancing and celebrating. In the cemetery, the kids are asking for the baby skeleton with her scary mask and her box with the little candle. Giddy up, giddy up. Oh, they want to catch me to that ugly skeleton. They want to marry me. Strung out in rows, dancing a wild dance. And then we have a story about the Day of the Dead. And you can check this book out at our local library. All right, responsive reading, I think, is up next. Is that right?
I have to say, I love the little critters at the bottom. They were cute.
Very cute book.
Good morning. My name is Amy, and we're going to do the responsive reading called We Remember Them. We gather in the warmth of community, remembering those who came before us.
Their lives made ours possible.
We remember their struggles and their courage.
May we carry their lessons.
Remember their laughter and their love.
May we share those gifts freely with one another.
We remember even those whose names we do not know.
For all are part of the great story of life.
As we listen, we remember.
We are the living continuation of those who dreamed before us.
All right. We give another big thank you to Brooke and Elba. So I knew I was going to want to talk about Dia de los Muertos, especially with November 2nd landing on a Sunday. But I'm just about as white can be. And so I'm so glad to have Elba and have her bring her beautiful wife Brooke with her to share with us from their culture more eloquently than I'm about to do. As always, I'll start with a couple readings from the Hebrew scripture from the book of Deuteronomy. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life so that your descendants may live, loving the Lord your God, obeying God's voice, and holding fast to life itself. Of course, I must quote Winnie the Pooh. It just seems to be the theme lately. If ever there is a tomorrow when we are not together, and there is something you must always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think. But the most important thing is, even if we're apart, I'll always be with you. From Indigenous Wisdom, from the Great Law of Peace, in every deliberation, we must consider the impact of our decisions on the 7th generation yet to come. Dia de los Muertos has always been one of my favorite holidays that is not a part of my personal tradition. I have a lot of holidays that I'm a big fan of that are not a part of my personal tradition. I am not Jewish by ancestry. I am thrilled to have married into a family where I have a half Jewish kid. And so I feel a little less cultural appropriating when I celebrate Hanukkah. I've always been fascinated by Diwali and was thrilled that Chris had a book for us on Diwali a couple weeks ago. But Dia de los Muertos, as I shared last night at our Moon Circle, has been kind of a complicated holiday for me. Because on one hand, I was taught as an evangelical Christian kid growing up that we didn't celebrate Halloween because witches of various variety think that it's the time when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, and that's satanic, and we can't do that. But then on the very next breath, my Catholic neighbors next door would celebrate this veil being thin 2 days later on Dia de los Muertos, and that was okay. And that always just confused me. In my early 20s, I was invited to a graveyard on November 2nd for a Dia de los Muertos celebration, and it was one of the most memorable encounters of my life, being invited to such a special time of honoring one's ancestors. And I've always thought, what is wrong with us white people? Because literally... Right on cue, Sage. Yeah.
Because literally every other culture has something like this. They have some beautiful way of honoring their ancestors. And I know that I shared with you after coming back from my friend Viv's funeral over the summer, how moved I was by how their culture allows the children to approach the casket and to be a part of everything, and how moved I was by the young men, young boys leading us to the cemetery afterwards. I've always been fascinated by the ideas of welcoming the ghost of our ancestors rather than seeing ghost as a fearful thing, which is saying something, because I am somebody who gets scared easily of everything Halloween, but nothing Dia de los Muertos, which tells me how different they are. Yeah. Chris had to warn me about these decorations. That's how easy I scare, okay? But I have known since I was a young child that ancestors watch over us. Even if I didn't know that that's what I knew. I grew up hearing a story, and my mom never tells the same story quite the exact same way twice, so I probably have this half wrong. But I remember growing up hearing that when I was a very young child, I went into the living room and told my mom that Grandpa said we needed to sit under the dining room table. And she said, "Which Grandpa?" Because none of them were in our house, but I did have two living ones at the time. And I said, "Well," he said, "he's Grammy's husband." And she said, "Okay, let's go sit under the dining room table then." Because Grammy's husband was my great-grandmother's husband, and he died either right before my mom got pregnant with me or while she was pregnant with me. I never met him before. And not long after that, a huge windstorm that my mom describes as a small tornado, which I've seen those in Fresno, blew through and broke our window right where my mom was sitting. And that's just one story. There was another time in my teens when a friend reported seeing the same grandfather during a really bad asthma attack, and he showed her where my inhaler was. There was a time in my later teens, and I don't know if Aunt Patty even remembers this, but she's here today, so I'm going to add this story in. When my car broke down a couple miles from home, and a stranger stopped and pushed me home with his car. And when I asked him to wait to explain to my aunt, we both turned around and he was gone. He was gone. There was no rational reason for him to be gone so soon. I've always believed in that thin veil because I've seen it myself. I could go on with so many stories that I have of deceased loved ones that either I or others have seen acting on my behalf. Also, as Brooke mentioned, with the rise of immigration and cremation and all the different ways that our loved ones are put to rest, we don't always live close enough to have a place to go visit. So I have for a long time loved the idea of building and keeping an ofrenda, because it's a place to sit and talk with your loved ones. Now, if you've been attending since the beginning, or even frequently, I think, you know I've had a rough year with death. One thing that I used to say a lot, and I still say it a lot, but I used to speak to cameras a lot more often with marriage equality and whatnot, and I used to often say, I was blessed to be born to the best grandparents a kid could ever have. Not the best parents, not the most loving and accepting of parents, but the best grandparents a kid could ever have. And in the last year, I've lost two of my grandmas. A few years before that, I lost a grandpa. And we all know about my friend Viv. Well, I have another grandma that I know loves me. She's been pretty much a lifelong you-er. And her and my grandfather, who passed a few years ago, were definitely a big part of the inspiration for this crazy project. But I didn't get to know them very well because my mom kept me from them as a child. I met them in my late teens, and as is often the case in your late teens, I was a busy adult trying to move out of my parents' house and just couldn't keep up with people that I barely knew. I'm not sure how much time I have left with my other grandfather who is still alive, but I know that I have already been asked to do his funeral as well. Then, of course, there's my friend Viv, who left this earth far too soon, far too young, of what should be a far too curable disease. I think that's why this year Dia de los Muertos is so much more powerful to me. That thin veil between life and death feels a little bit thinner this year because I'm so close to that death. But I know that our ancestors don't disappear into silence. They become a part of the great chorus that carries us forward. They live in our gestures, in our stories. Grandma Jo lives in my face, my mannerisms, and my taste in food. They live in the recipes we make without even needing to look at the card, the phrases that slip out of our mouths, and our voices that sound just like theirs. In many ways, this celebration says what every faith tradition has tried to say throughout centuries in its own language, that death is not the opposite of life, but rather the continuation of love. This past week, in my classes, we spoke a lot about ancestors and spirits. It seems like every single one of my professors, including two of them with a Latino heritage, made sure to incorporate something about Dia de los Muertos into our classes. Both there and at last night's full moon circle, we had several people who struggled with the practices that we were doing of honoring our ancestors or of thinking towards our descendants because, well, a lot of us in that classroom don't have great relationships with our families of origin and don't know that we'll have very many descendants. Yes. Hi. As Sage waves to me right on cue, Sage is not likely to give me grandchildren. I was one of those who struggled. So many were talking about their parents as their ancestors. And I know that I am not the legacy that my birth parents want to leave for this world. I am, thankfully, the legacy that my adopted mom, Judy, would like to leave for this world and that my Aunt Patty would like to leave for this world. Yes. I am absolutely the legacy that my great-grandparents and grandparents would have left for this world. As for descendants, I have 3 amazing bonus children provided to me by Chris. We're not counting on grandchildren from any of them. But Siri has assured me that one day she will have a child that can call me Grandma or Mima. But then someone brought a broader meaning into ancestors. They talked about those who might not just share our bloodline, but those who share our religious, our cultural, our spiritual lines. So today, if you're struggling to think of an ancestor, or if you're struggling to think of a descendant, let me remind you of some UU ancestors. Reverend Olympia Brown was one of the first women ordained as a minister in any denomination in North America. UUs were the first to ordain women. And a lifelong advocate for women's suffrage. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, a Black abolitionist, poet, and Unitarian who fought for the end of slavery and for women's rights. Her words still echo in our faith. We are all bound up together in one great bundle of humanity. At Easter, we learned about Reverend Norbert Chapek, a Czech Unitarian minister who created the flower communion to celebrate the beauty of diversity and unity among all people. If looking to your Unitarian Universalist ancestors doesn't do it for you, we could look to Cesar Chavez, a Mexican-American farm worker, labor leader, and devout man of faith. Chavez co-founded the United Farm Workers to fight for dignity, fair wages, and humane condition with his rallying cry, which Brooke helped write the copyright for. Trademark. And it is? There you go. Or Harvey Milk. Yes. Harvey Milk, one of the first openly gay elected officials in the United States. Rosa Parks, the quiet force behind a movement whose single act of courage on the Montgomery bus sparked waves of justice. Nelson Mandela, John Lewis, Mr. Rogers, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. These are the ancestors that I know are proud of us. If we continue in their legacy, if we continue to pave the way, who will come after us? In our feeding of dozens, if not hundreds, that we do here as a church, who will come after us that will feed thousands? In creating this community where we are building a safe space for those who are in the minority and the marginalized in our town, who will come along and make this not only a safe place, but a safe town, maybe even a safe county?
Yeah.
In fighting for social justice, will we leave a world in which Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't face any of the problems that they read about in their history books? In reducing our carbon footprint, are we leaving better air for those beyond us? I heard a quote in class that said something along the lines of, each of us is somewhere along the line the dreams of our ancestors come true. So even if you know, as I do, that you are not the dream of your parents come true, somewhere along the line, you are Sylvia Riviera's dream come true. You are Desmond Tutu's dream come true. You are Princess Diana's dream come true. Jimmy Carter's dream come true. Robert Kennedy's dream come true. Somewhere along the line, somebody in history that died and paved the way for us is proud of you. And somewhere along the line, whether you have children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren or no biological bloodline descendants at all, someone that comes after you will be proud of you and what you're doing here today. What dreams do we have that our descendants will see come to light? What dreams do we have that our descendants will be the embodiment of that dream come true? That, for me, is the heart of this holy day. To not just remember, but to become someone worth remembering. Someday others will tell our stories. They may not remember our names. They may not remember our faces. But the ripple of our kindness, our courage, and our laughter will move through the world someday. So today, as we light candles and lay marigolds, may we know that we are doing so knowing that the same love that carried our ancestors is still carrying us, and that one day it will carry those who follow behind us, because love doesn't end, it only changes form.
And that's why she did the sermon.
As we close our time together today, we turn to a song that captures the very heart of Dia de los Muertos, the truth that love does not end when life does. When Disney first began work on Coco, there was understandable controversy. The company initially attempted to trademark Dia de los Muertos, a sacred cultural celebration that belongs to the Mexican people and to countless generations of indigenous ancestors. That action rightly sparked outrage and became a teaching moment, a reminder that honoring a culture is very different from claiming ownership of it. Yet the story that emerged, and especially this song, Remember Me, carries a message that transcends corporate missteps. It reminds us of what it has always meant, that love is eternal, that memory keeps the spirit alive, and that those we've lost are never truly gone as long as we remember them. Each of us carries an ofrenda within us, a place in the heart where the ones we love live on. So as you listen, let this song be a blessing for every name you hold close, every ancestor who whispers you forward, and every act of love that continues through you. May we remember, and in remembering, may we keep love alive.
Remember me, oh, I have to say goodbye. Remember me, don't let me make you cry. Even if I'm far away, I hold you in my heart. I sing a secret song to you each night we are apart. Remember me, oh, I have to travel far. Remember me. You said it's on. No, you're the only way that I can be. Until you're in my arms again. Remember
As we continue in this spirit of reflection, we remember that our shared ministry is sustained by the generosity of everyone here. We don't pass a plate, but there's a donation bowl and QR code on the welcome table by the door. If you'd like us to track your cash donation for a receipt, please use an envelope. Checks may be written to Mountain Unitarian Universalists or simply use our handy stamp. The bank wants it all written out. You can also donate online anytime at mountainuu.org under Ways to Give. Every contribution, large or small, supports our mission of love in action, creating change. All our funds are managed with care and transparency. You can view financial information anytime on our website or by appointment. Remember, our congregation is run entirely by volunteers. Your offerings of time, service, creativity, and joyful participation are just as vital as financial gifts. Each act of generosity strengthens this beloved community.
And if that woodpecker doesn't cut it out, we might have to help the senior center buy a new roof. Or we're all going to be soaked.
He's having a good time.
Yeah, he does. With gratitude for all the ways you give, let's now turn our attention to the announcements and upcoming opportunities to connect and serve. So on the website, on the drop-down menu, you've got events and announcements. That's on mountainuu.org. Go ahead. Next slide. Grief group every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on Zoom. Next one. Healing Nest every Wednesday at 6 p.m. in this room right here. And up next, we've got a board meeting today at 1:30.
It'll be short.
It will be a short meeting because we do not have our full board here today, but even without a quorum, we have informational items. So if you're on the board, please meet us around 1:30 at the coloring table for a quick board meeting. And next Sunday at 11, we're going to do a food strategy session so that we can talk about what our next steps are. We haven't got a chance to talk about food at all yet. I'm going to let Teresa tell you a couple of things. But if you haven't looked on Facebook lately, Teresa and I spent quite a bit of time this past week making videos based on the information that we had about the possibility of SNAP benefits being canceled or postponed. We put out a real big push for our food pantry, and you have all just really stepped up and rose to the occasion. People are bringing us things, they're donating things, they're sending things our way. Someone baked loaves of sourdough bread for us yesterday. I mean, it is amazing. We had a huge bunch of produce, eggplants and carrots in particular. Amy's been experimenting with the eggplant and has ratatouille for us to taste test. So there's little samples of that over there along with our treats tonight or this afternoon. If anyone has any ideas on what to do with a bag of carrots that's this tall from the floor, that's how many carrots we still have to find a home for. Yes, we definitely need that, and freezer space. Yes. So anyway, there's a lot still to figure out with food. We're feeding a lot of people. A lot of really wonderful things have happened. And like I said, I'll let Teresa decide which things to share when, but thank you. Thank you for everything you do, that you've done so far, and talk with me on Sunday. We'll meet around the table here at 11 next week and figure out what our next steps are and how we could get more people fed in Oakhurst where there's a major food shortage.
And Chris, after that ratatouille, I will take one eggplant.
You will take one eggplant,
okay?
along with Amy's recipe? Yes.
Yes. Don't tell my husband.
All right. So another fun thing that's happening starting this month, we are going to be celebrating birthdays. Does anyone in this room have a birthday in November? I think we are short on November birthdays. We have 2 members. We have Autumn, and then if you click again, I think you'll get the other name. And Heather. We have Autumn and Heather, who are both November birthdays. So happy birthday out there to Autumn and Heather if you watch. And we have a cake just for us all to celebrate. We're going to be doing that the first Sunday of every month going forward. Your hospitality committee has decided to bake you all cakes every month. So if we don't have your birthday, make sure you let me know. Come talk to me and I'll check the list and make sure we have it. If you're a member, we very likely have your birthday. If you're a friend and have not signed our membership book, we may not have your birthday, so let me know. And I think that's everything on birthdays, and that's all my announcements.
So it has been an emotional roller coaster week with food, let me tell you. I cannot count the number of times in my life that I did not know where my next meal was going to come from. My parents were not good at managing what money they had, and therefore not great at grocery shopping. It was a lot of hamburger helper, sometimes without the hamburger. And then as an adult, do you know how hard it is to find food on a tight budget or from a food pantry when you and your partner have food allergies and they're not even the same allergies? And this week we were able to meet specific allergy needs, specific dietary needs, and feed so many families. And every time I opened a box, either from Amazon or the very generous donation from Winco, I just cried every time. And then every time I was able to hand one out, it was happy. It was more happy tears. And then in the in-between, it was swearing at the cosmos for the fact that the wealthiest country on the planet is in this boat at all. But I'll digress for now. But all I can say is, yes, I have a million stories about food that I will happily tell you when we have a couple hours at lunch somewhere. And now we will close with the chorus of Lean on Me. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. And Chris is back there, so I think I'll extinguish the chalice. Though we extinguish this flame, the circle of connection remains unbroken. The love of those who came before us still lights our way, and may the hope we carry, will be our guide. Let me try this again. Though we extinguish this flame, the circle of connection remains unbroken. The love of those who came before us still lights our way, and the hope we carry will guide those who follow. May we go in peace, held in the unending glow of memory and love. And if you ever had any doubt that I write my own sermons and ChatGPT doesn't, look at how well I just did not read something that was written for me. And now for the benediction. As we leave this place, may we remember that love never dies. It only changes form. The ones who came before us still walk beside us. Their courage in our heart, their laughter in our joy, their dreams unfolding in our lives. Even if we are, and when days get hard, may you hear that quiet voice reminding you, even if we are apart, I'll always be with you. Go in peace, go in love, and go in remembrance of all who came before us.
Lots of yummy food. Please join us. I know. I understand. You don't know how many times a week I say I'm not that kind of pastor if we're not that kind of church. Amazing stickers. Yes. And